All guitars featured on this channel were legally available for purchase from many online legal platforms and are covered under the Lanham Act. The Lanham Act, specifically outlined in 1709 Joint Statement, Parts C and D, defines the term trafficking under subsections 2320D. The scope of the act is limited to commercial activities, and is not considered a crime under this act for any individual to knowingly purchase goods bearing counterfeit marks if the purchase is for personal use. Under this legal interpretation of the Lanham Act, non-commercial uses of a trademark, no matter how confusing, do not amount to infringement. This is because non-commercial use refers to use that consists entirely of non-commercial or fully constitutionally protected speech. This video and its contents are in no way associated with the EVH, Gibson, Fender, Kramer brands or any other brands or their representatives. These videos can depict authentic unboxing experiences of guitars legally purchased from AliExpress, eBay, Facebook ads, as well as YouTube ads. All usage falls under fair use and news reporting. Any attempt to assume control or violate this dissemination of content will be considered a direct violation of the United States First Amendment. This information is protected accordingly. Any attempt to stop or remove any form of media reporting could be viewed as a crime.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Fulton Street Beats and the second episode of the guitar build-off. This is the wild card guitar. We're going to call this one. This is one that you guys were not going to expect for sure. I'm pretty sure none of you expected this guitar, but this is the one we're going to show you because, well, we have to keep things very, very fair and very realistic on this channel. So you know that we are going to be comparing some Chibson style guitars and who is the best Chibson style guitar builder. Well, we know the replica guitar, so why don't we take another replica guitar, but from, well, a name brand builder. And that's right, what we have here is the Kirk Hammett Greeny, 59 Greeny. That is right, from Epiphone. Now this caused a big stir up on the internet. And you guys know I put a poll up on this guitar, and I said, well, what do you think about it? It's a $1,500 guitar, almost $1,600 with tax, and quite expensive. But what do you get really for the $1,600? And I'm sure you've all watched quite a few videos on this guitar. And who's telling the truth and who isn't? And hopefully we can shed some light on that subject and really dive into this. This just came. I ordered it for this competition. That's right. So this is a purchase that I bought myself. And yeah, so I got some money tied up in this guitar, but I want to share this with you. So let's do this. Let's spin it around here so you guys can get a look. First of all, let's look at this really nice case. Super, super nice case. We have Epiphone inspired by Gibson Custom on the case. Super, super nice case with brushed nickel latches. Very, very nice, very high quality. They feel good. Let's open up this guitar. Now I have opened it up and I wanted to check it out because we have to do that when I order a guitar and pay money for it right away because I want to make sure there's no damage. So there is no damage to this guitar. Now, when I was unboxing this guitar, I was actually talking to one of my subscribers on the phone. And we were talking about this guitar, and I actually sent him pictures as I was unboxing this. So you're seeing this just like it came. It came very close to in tune. The guitar is it's extremely well set up. Plastics over the pickups here, you can see. The knobs, we're going to go over this. We're going to go over this guitar really, really well. And look at this pink case. Is this crazy? Not a lot of case candy. It doesn't come with us. Maybe some decals in the key for the case, but that's about it. This pink, I'm going to say that this may look different on camera. This is the type of pink that you see on, well, the Valentine's Day little sweets that you get that have little sayings on them. That's the kind of pink this is, if I had to describe it. Almost a cotton candy pink. So, very nice case. So right away, it looks good in the case. The case is nice. And yes, guess what, guys? Your Chibsons will fit in this case. If you got a Chibson Les Paul, a newer one, they do fit in this case perfectly, just like this guitar, as a matter of fact. So let's do this. Let's get this over here and check this out. We're going to go over this guitar from top to bottom. And why am I doing it with this Epiphone? Well, because it's kind of a special guitar, but not, right? I mean, it's an Epiphone. It is an Asian guitar. It's a Chinese-built guitar in an Epiphone factory. And how does this compare with the Chibson? I know a lot of you have already formed opinions right now without knowing the facts. So I don't even know the facts because the other two guitars, just the two, possibly two, that are coming, that are in this build-off. Epiphone didn't even know they were in the build-off end, but I placed them in there because I paid for it. So we're going to notice right away, Epiphone on the headstock. It's a little translucent, not really deep. It's not like your Gibson translucent on the headstock here. You can see that. We do have a nice, I believe, it might be a Graphtec nut, if I remember right, but it could be bone, I guess. But it's very well cut, very, very nice. Finish is nice. It's nickel hardware. What's nice about these guitars is they actually use a real Mother of Pearl on the fretboard, but then they ended up using Indian Laurel for the fretboard itself instead of rosewood. And you know the real Greenys are a dark rosewood. No big deal. It looks great. The frets on this thing are done very, very well. I've seen reviews where they're not done well. At least they say they're not done well. I'm not going to call them a liar, but mine are perfection. They're very, very nice. Now, keep in mind, guys, I'm the guy who always bitches about Gibson quality, and this is a Gibson product. So I'm going to be very fair and very honest with you. This is obviously a Switchcraft switch that's in it. Feels better than my Gibson SG did. And then we have authentic Gibson 59 Greeny pickups in this guitar. That's right. That's what this comes with. Very, very cool. Now, they do the small style pin bridge here, and I say pin bridge. They're not really pins, but the studs that come through are the small style, but they are slotted. And this is all nickel hardware. And then we have a Tone Pros locking bridge or tailpiece on here, but I'm pretty sure they're labeled Epiphone. So I'm not sure what's up. I think they just make them for them. The knobs. I saw a video and somebody said the knobs are cheap and wonky. Let me tell you something. These are the best feeling knobs that I have felt on a guitar in a long, long time. I'm talking high end, low end, you name it. They feel precise and good. No grit. It does have the pointers. Really high quality feel. So I'm not sure where that come from. But the guy that did the review on the guitar, reviewing this guitar, really hated the guitar in all aspects of it. I don't know why. I really don't know why. It's a really good looking guitar, and the body of this guitar, guys, they use a veneer on the top, but you can't tell by looking at this veneer. This is a very, like a translucent, this is what they call a buffed out gloss finish. It's like an aged gloss finish. It would look like if it was aged, but there's no, there's not beat up like a relic. But when you move the guitar around, yeah, the stripe actually shifts. It is done really well, and I don't know if the camera picks that up or not, but it actually shifts. It is way better in person. This is a fantastic looking guitar in person, beyond my expectations in person, looking at it. I'm going to flip it over here real quick, and we're going to notice that it's got a beautiful back to it. It's all mahogany. Really fast neck because the shine is knocked down, so it's super fast, and it is chunky. We have Grover Rotomatics on it, and ironic thing about this guitar is, and we have handcrafted in China, we have the IGC that's inspired by Gibson Company on the back, but we have no Kirk Hammett, anything to indicate this would be a Kirk Hammett guitar. Usually they would give us a little logo or have a name or what have you. It doesn't have that. And the poll we did, we asked, is that a deal breaker? It doesn't say it. A lot of people thought that not having Kirk Hammett or even a Les Paul logo on the guitar, they didn't like that. And I do understand that. But nonetheless, it is a very good-looking guitar. Very, very good-looking guitar. Very well done. I don't like the strap buttons. Of course, I hate bell-style strap buttons, but it is what it is. The binding is super nice. Everything really fits this guitar well, and there's no blemishes on this guitar. No blemishes on this guitar anywhere, so I can't stress that enough. So that's very cool. Good-looking hardware. Like I said, the knobs feel good. Overall, fantastic looking guitar. So how does this compare, to the SG that's over there? Well, that we just unboxed, the Chibson style SG that sounded fantastic, right? It's fantastic sounding guitar, black guitar, and we're a $1,500-$1,600 guitar right now versus a $300 guitar. So I want you to keep that in mind. But at the end of the day, we have to make decisions based on what our budget is and what we're getting for the money. So you guys are going to pick the winner in the end. I'm just going to give my opinions and how I score it. So let's put this thing over here, and let's dive in a little deeper. First thing we're going to do is let's get into these pots. Now I'm going to undo this by hand. I'm not going to use the screw gun on this one today simply because I don't want to slip with this expensive of a guitar. So nice quality screws, by the way. And they actually give you a little finger. I just noticed this. I don't know if it's by mistake or by design. I would love it if all of them had that. A little slot to get your plate out so you're not struggling with it or using razor blades like we have to do a lot of times, right? A lot of times we have to use razor blades to get out our covers, and that is not good. So I've already been in here. I'm not going to lie. I've already checked it out. And it's not bad, but I mean, it's got nice pots in it and nice capacitors for sure. But and there we are. Nice pots, nice capacitors. Soldering on this version is pretty good. I've seen them online where the solder job was pretty bad. Routing is nice on this guitar. Doesn't appear to be CNC routed, but I could be wrong. It just doesn't appear to be. But it's still, it's a little rough cut is what I mean. But it very well could be. Maybe it was just the tooling that they were using to do it. Pots, 500K pots, CTS pots, and we have our yellow capacitors in here. Your wires, obviously, somebody said that they were a 2-wire setup. No, they're not. They're actually a 4-conductor wire. They just put it down to 2 when they got to the inside the cavity. So I don't know what's going on there. If you can see it, you have your extra wires coming out here that are kind of taped off to nothing here. Wiring definitely could have been taped back a little better, tidied up a little more, and of course I will do that. It's not shielded. I will tell you right now, it wasn't a bother though. It really doesn't need to be shielded because, well, I sit in front of my big Laney amp with the boost and gain cranked all the way up and got 0 distortion or microphonics. I say distortion, microphonics or feedback from it. So whatever they got going on, it's working. Obviously the pickups are wax potted very, very well. So let's keep that in mind. And then, of course, the switch here, very well done. Just a switchcraft, but I'm going to show you a flaw that they do have on these. I'm going to change my screwdriver real quick here. A little small. There we go. I'm going to show you a flaw that I've seen on a lot of these online, and this is no exception. But what you will see is quality control marks. When you open these cavities, you're going to see little marks, little black marks on the inside, and that's when they go down through the line and something has been done. They kind of sign off on it, put a little mark on it. Good little step that they take, and if you guys are familiar with the automotive world, they do the same thing as when a car goes down the assembly line, kind of sign off on it. And but we got a really nice cut switch here, switch cavity. Really, really nice switchcraft switch, wired properly and nice. But you see we have one of the holes dangerously close here and kind of coming through on the inside there. Most of the ones I've seen so far are like that. So keep that in mind. It's just something that maybe they might want to work on in the future with their guitars. But it's, do we knock up a point for that? I don't know. We might have to because, well, it's a $1,600 guitar. Maybe we got to deduct a point for that in the end. 2-piece body on this. That's right. This is a 2-piece body, not a 1-piece body. I think that for $1,500, you should have a 1-piece body. That's just my opinion, and just gonna say that. And what do you think, guys? Though, beautiful looking guitar, right? Now, you guys know we're gonna do the sound tests of these later on all together. I mean, seriously, how good does this guitar sound to a $300 guitar? Maybe a $500 guitar in the middle there, and maybe another one you guys haven't seen yet. We keep throwing some surprises in for you guys, if you will. I know you guys all want to see inside of this thing, right? But why don't we do that? Let's do that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to see where this bridge is right here. This bridge is pretty much decked out down to the bottom, so really simple to put back. I really don't want to mess with the bridge height because this guitar, oh, by the way, the action on this guitar, I'm going to put a picture here. I already did the action. I'll put a picture of the weight and the action height on the low E and on the high E out of the box with this guitar. It's going to blow your mind, and there's 0 fret buzz. It's got a perfect, best setup I've seen. Best setup. Simply crushes my Gibson SG, crushes it, crushes my 2 other Les Pauls, my older Les Pauls. The setup of this guitar is outstanding. So whoever's setting them up definitely did a fantastic job. Remember, we're going to do a point system on this guitar. And I'm doing this because I don't want all these guitars are going to be tested with the factory strings. We are not upgrading anything on these guitars. Maybe I did on one guitar change the knobs, but probably shouldn't have done that. But made a mistake and did it. But okay, so I'm going to sit this to the side right here. And there's, as you can see, we're labeled Epiphone. This is a locking bridge. It's locked in. You guys already know that, I am sure. Here is our or a saddle I should say. Here is our bridge, labeled B2. I'm sure you guys have seen that before. I do not want to mess with the saddle height, but what I do want to do is get in here and check out this neck tenon to see if they're all uniform. And of course we have our upside down pickup, which makes the middle position sound like a Stratocaster, and I have confirmed that. That is exactly what it does. There we are. We have, there we go, Greeny pickups right there. And they're dated 4/11/2023. We have a long neck tenon coming up into here. No shielding, but once again, we have marks on here, marker marks, and we're routed out very, very nicely. And if we look, we can see it's kind of a cap with a veneer over it. I mean, that's the only best way I can describe it. It's like a cap with a veneer over it. We have our mahogany here, and what looks like we have like almost like a flame maple cap. And they say it is a veneer. That's what they're saying. So I mean, that's looking at the green. That's what it looks like. So we have a veneer over it, but super, super nice, super translucent. We can get into the other one also. Kirk Hammett Greeny. So we have our a little barcode in there, a little bar block, and a beautifully done guitar. Very nicely done inside. I am liking it. Hope you guys are liking it too. We'll throw it back together here, and then we're going to score this thing. Communication, that was the first thing we had to I had to deal with the other ones, right? No matter how you look at it, we got to communicate with somebody. Now, this guitar was purchased through Zounds. It was a last-minute decision, and communication was good. I always call them, and I talk to them, and I make sure that everything's in stock. And so that was really good. So we have to give them 5 stars on that. We're giving Zounds 5 stars, of course. I know it doesn't seem fair because it's coming from Zounds, but it's here in the country, and that's a plus, and it's a plus to you. Is it a $1,500 plus? I don't know. That's up to you to decide. Number 2 is the shipping speed. Well, for me, the shipping speed was amazing. The guitar was ordered at the time of this video. It was ordered the day before at about 4:30 p.m. and was shipped out at a little after 5, and it was here today before noon, so less than 24-hour shipping. So, well, shipping speed. We got another 5 star. Now, general appearance. Well, it's an amazing looking guitar. There's no flaws or blemishes on the guitar itself. Anywheres. It's a beautiful guitar. Very well put together. Really high quality feel. High quality build. Definitely on par with any Gibson you're going to ever see. The only down that you can't tell, it's got the Indian Laurel fretboard, but we have Mother of Pearl that kind of makes up for it. So we got to give them a 5 star, right? 5 star on that too. So 5 star general appearance. Hardware. Well, come on. We got an amazing bridge on here. We have a locking tailpiece. We have really nice tuners. Are they top of the line tuners? No, but they're nice, and it is nickel hardware. We have the correct switchcraft, but we have strap buttons that I can't stand. And for that reason alone, I am going to deduct a point. You guys might not think it's fair, but I'm going to give it 4 stars for hardware. 4 stars for hardware. Fit and finish of the guitar. Fit and finish of the guitar. Is there anything on this guitar, fit and finish, that's not correct? No, there's not. It's a beautiful, beautiful guitar. There's 0 flaws on this guitar anywheres. When we take into it and we look in the wires could be tidied up, but that has nothing to do with fit and finish, really. It's just, it's internal. It's like taking your car apart and looking at wires under your dash. So I'm not going to really dock them for that, so we're actually going to give them another 5 stars. Of course, this is Epiphone, and it is high-end. So keep that in mind. Price, for value and price, well, there's where we're going to run into a big problem here, at least with me. We're going to run into a problem with this. How is value versus price? Well, this is what I'm going to tell you. It's a very quality built guitar. You got a guitar case. Let's say the guitar case is $200. You can get these pickups for $300, right? So there's $500 right there. But do we have, another $1,000 in body in hardware? And what are you paying for? Well, it's a Greeny, right? We're paying for the name Greeny, but what do you expect with a Greeny? Now, my personal opinion on this guitar, and I hope that some of you will agree with me, and I understand your personal preferences, but it does have the open book headstock, which is really cool. I do like that. It looks good, and I know why they went with that. The screws in the truss rod cover don't bother me because, well, it is an Epiphone, and I think we're lucky just to have gotten the open book headstock. It has the right knobs. They look good. It's got the pointers. Where does it fall short? Where is it falling short? Because we're still not adding up to that extra $1,000. We actually have an Indian Laurel fingerboard. That's right. And, well, we have the medium jumbo frets, but I'm going to be totally honest with you. Most of the Chibsons have bigger frets than these. They do play nice. They're polished. They're nice, and they're done nicely. But we're missing a feature like a real rosewood fretboard. So keep that in mind. We got to remember we're missing that. And, well, we'll get into even more. How can you have a Kirk Hammett guitar and claim it's a Kirk Hammett, he owns one now, a signature style guitar, without his name on it anywhere, without a logo or a signature anywhere? And sure, we can pull the pickup and there's a little sticker that will come off in there that's a barcode that tells what it is they're putting together. But that doesn't make this anything special to look at it, right? I mean, let's face it, if we took this guitar and we changed the knobs on this guitar, they'll say, you'd be like, well, you know, what is it? It's an Epiphone. These knobs are really a call-out feature that tell us what it is, as well as the open book headstock, but no logo anywheres. And personally, I would even like to have seen something maybe different. If they're going to do the guitar different, put a Les Paul logo on the headstock with it. Let's make it a little bit special and more recognizable as something special. Now, this is considered a buffed down gloss finish. It is a beautiful finish. But in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, if you're going to make it now, I'm going to say I'm knocking this guitar because it's a gorgeous guitar, it's a beautiful guitar, it plays well, it's extremely well set up. But if you're going to make a Greeny and you're not going to relic it, don't buff down the finish. Give us a beautiful gloss finish like the guitar would have been originally. I think that would have been very unique and set it apart. A top like this with a gloss finish just would have been over the top, extreme, amazing looking. And that's what I think about that. And now we go to the back. And, well, we're talking about $1,000 for a build. We got a chunky neck. It plays good. It's fast. However, it's a two-piece body. I have to knock that on a two-piece body. So we have things that do go against it. Not a lot, but they do go against it. And I think that wiring could have looked a lot better. And I think you all can agree with me there. No, it's not a big deal and I can do it, but the fact is I have to do it because they didn't. So honestly, value-wise, and it could sound like $1 million, and honestly, guys, it does. It plays and sounds amazing. But we have to take it for really what it is. A guitar setup is something that most of us can do, and if you can't, your luthier, your local setup guy can. So are you going to pay him $1,000 to set it up? Of course not. So I'm going to give this a rating of 3 stars for value, because simply there's not $1,000 worth of body here. So we got a case and we have really nice pickups. But other than that, there's not $1,000 worth of things going on. CTS pots, sure, they're a dime a dozen. You know we can get them if you know how to shop. We can get the capacitors, all that stuff. We can get that stuff. So we're going to give that 3 stars, price versus value. Well, I know a lot of people will disagree with me, but that's how it is. Tone on this guitar is a 5 star. If I could give it more, I would. If I could take the rating higher, I'd give it more. Tone on this guitar is simply, I want to swear right now and say incredible. It is an incredible sounding guitar. Those Gibson pickups do what they're supposed to do and more. They're amazing. You will be able to hear that very shortly. So keep that in mind. Now that we've discussed all of this on this Greeny guitar, and I hope you guys really it's an amazing guitar. It's an amazing guitar. I just don't believe that it's $1,500, $1,600 worth of amazing, but it is an amazing guitar. Now, what I am sold on is the pickups. I am sold on these pickups. I am sold on those piece pickups. I'm probably going to go buy some of these pickups now for the $300 price tag, just to have them to put in other guitars because they're that good. If there's one selling point about this guitar that's awesome is the pickups, and it has a nice case. And it is cool. It's not limited edition. It's nothing that's going to really climb in value throughout the years because, well, they've just made so many of them already. It's like a big cash cow. It's a money grab. And but they did a good job on the guitar. So if you like it, that's awesome. I'm not saying you did wrong by purchasing it for that price. Hell, I just did. I did it to show you. That's how invested I am in this channel. I bought this with my own money, not even using the channel money. So don't say nothing to the wife. But yeah, I purchased this guitar to show you so I know what I'm talking about when I bring you the other builds. But 100% beautiful guitar. I am rambling. Let's get over and have our final thoughts. Kirk Hammett Epiphone Greeny. No one can deny it's a beautiful guitar. You might not like the color, but I mean, it is an overall generally it's a good looking guitar. It might not be your flavor. You might want something else. But for me, I think it's a fantastic looking guitar, feeling guitar. And it's got a really nice weight that I'm going to put here, just so you know. Setup is exquisite. It's outstanding. So was the Hue guitar. Yes, the Chibson knockoff was a very well set up guitar and a very good sounding guitar also, in its own right. And they're very close in score, believe it or not, which is really ironic when I think about it, because when I look at the two guitars, I see, well, I would think that this would come out ahead, but what really put this guitar behind is the value, the price versus the value. Really put it behind, and that's unfortunate because now if we were around $1,000 for this guitar, we'd have much more value in it, and it would have scored a lot higher. But it's really up there in price. Don't get me wrong, the pickups are fantastic. Communication, of course, 5-star. We can't go wrong when we buy a guitar that's already in the United States or that is from a seller that is, well, easy to get a hold of and responds easily. So that's always good. Shipping speed, they're close to me. It might not be like this for you, but we got 18 hours to my door, which is pretty crazy. Appearance, general appearance, just first glance looking at the guitar. It's 5-star looking at the guitar. When you dive in a little farther, you notice some things that might be a little different on the guitar that you might not like, but it's still got a good appearance, general appearance. There's no flaws. Hardware. Well, we're giving it a 4-star. Then I deducted a point because it's my preference, because I hate these strap buttons, and I've said it, well, since I started this channel. Don't like these strap buttons. Change the hard. You give 5-star. They're just, the bell shapes are scary when you're running your strap. And even with strap washers, they can slip off. So that's just me. You may disagree. Price versus value, it's a 3-star. It's a 3-star. We have a case that would run about $200, and we got Greeny pickups in it. Gibson pickups that are about $300. So there's about $500 right there. And I don't think we have $1,000 worth of wood and other hardware on this to really accommodate that price. Especially when you're looking in the wholesale market and the building costs of this stuff. So definitely making a premium profit on this stuff, and especially on a guitar that's being built overseas. So yeah, I had to deduct a few stars for that. 2 stars for that. But overall, we have a pretty good score still. And that's a 4.5. The Hue guitar, Hue, scored a 4.1. It's closer than one might imagine. But an average is an average, and that's what we come up with. Pickup values on this guitar, by the way, are 8.67 on the bridge. We have a 4.23 in the middle, and an 8.18 on the neck. And intonation on this guitar is spot on, and it's a cool guitar. Now, is this close to the original? That's what we take into account a little bit too. No scored on it, but is it close to the original? No, it's not. It's not even near the original guitar because, well, it isn't. It's not a Gibson. It's an Epiphone. It's not a vintage guitar, and it never will be. But what we do have is an outstanding playing guitar that I will bet plays better than the original. Because let's face it, in a real world, when things get old, they break down and deteriorate. They don't get better. They get worse, regardless of what our egos or wallets want to tell us. We pay for something. But it's a very nice guitar. It's a $1,000 guitar. In my eyes, it's a $1,000 guitar. And a beautiful guitar. Am I sorry I bought it? Of course not, because I got to bring it to you, you know? I got to bring it to you guys, and I think that's all that matters. And it's a beautiful sounding guitar, guys. You're going to love this guitar. Wait till we get out the other ones, and we compare them. Who's going to win the Chinese builder shootout? Will it be Epiphone? Is Epiphone going to win this? No, they just might, because it's a lot of guitar. No matter how you face it, it's a lot of guitar. Not a lot for the money, but it's a lot of guitar. Keep that in mind. Remember, it's rock and roll that makes the world go round, and make sure you stay tuned, because we have some other crazy guitars coming in that's part of this competition. And you're not going to want to miss what's coming. It is going to blow your mind. It is still blowing mine. I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen pictures, and you guys, well, you might want to wear your Depends that day. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Bye.